Story 1. Moving Day.
This happened yesterday at my new next-door neighbor's townhouse. He bought the house a few weeks ago, and the movers came to unload the truck with his household stuff and move him in. A huge truck pulled into the driveway, in front of his garage. When they opened up the back of the truck and looked at what was there, they told him that he needed to pay an additional $400 because of how much stuff he had, and that it would take 2 more hours to unload. He protested, but they threatened to leave and he could take it up with the moving company. They had him over a barrel and took the credit card payment. The movers asked him to open the garage door so they could take everything into the townhouse, because the front door off to the side had about a dozen steps. There was a car in the garage, and they asked him to remove it. He did. The truck pulled up, and in about an hour everything was unloaded and inside. But he had pulled the car in behind the truck, effectively preventing it from driving out. When they asked him to move it, he told him that his wife had the keys and was out shopping. She would be back in a couple hours, since they had told him and her that they needed a couple extra hours to unload. When they pushed back, he told them that he was paying for 2 more hours of their time, so it really didn't matter. She walked out the front door 2 houses later and moved her car so they could drive out and leave.
Comment 1. I would have said if you want me to move my car, that will be $400. Comment 2. I hope they watched her walk out of the house.
Comment 3. Time to do a credit card chargeback. Comment 4. For $400 extra, they should have gotten their workout on the stairs. They loaded the truck, should have known exactly how much the customer had and how long it would take to unload before leaving the old place.
Comment 5. If this is in the U.S., tell neighbor to contact your state's Attorney General's office. They probably have a division just for this. I know in AZ they do. AZ Attorney General. https://www.azaji.gov/arizona-attorney-general-maze-warns-peak-moving-season.
Comment 6. This practice is actually illegal. I'd file a complaint with FMCSA and DOT. Unless there was a clause in the contract for extraneous charges, what they did can result in steep fines, and if it's been reported before, possible loss of operating authority. FMCSA equals Federal Motor Carrier Safety Authority. DOT equals Department of Transportation. They're the regulating agencies that oversee trucking and commercial transportation.
Story 2. You didn't realize you married someone so lazy, huh?
Last week my husband and I went shopping. We came out of one shop and wanted to go to another, which was the other side of the car park. We walked over and there were no trolleys. What we wanted was packed into 4 heavy boxes and was awkward to carry across a large car park, so I said I'd drive the car over. It's one of those shops where you order at the till and they bring it from the warehouse to the till and you take it to your car. Well, he called me lazy for wanting to move the car. I tried explaining my side, but no, he was adamant I was lazy. I went and moved the car because the frick was I putting my back out carrying an outdoor table and chairs set to the car. He berated whilst we waited in the queue, calling me lazy, saying he didn't realize he married someone so lazy, etc. I ended up leaving the shop without the table and chairs because he kept pushing for a reaction. Today, we went back to said shops. He said he would go get the table and chairs while I went into another shop. Guess what? No trolleys. He rang me and asked me to drive the car over. Did I? Frick, that's lazy. He started to get pissed and realized he didn't have a leg to stand on. He carried each box separately from the shop to the car. For trips there and back. Each time he asked me to move the car and I said that it was lazy and I didn't realize I married someone so lazy. Edit for all the people getting their panties in a twist. No, I'm not nesting, the furniture is for my parents. Yes, I'm waiting on my lawyer to do their thing, then I can serve him the divorce papers.
Comment 1. Work smarter, not harder. Also, to quote Bill Gates, I choose a lazy person to do a hard job. Because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. People need to get off their moral high horse.
Comment 2. This literally sounds exactly like my relationship with, and this is the important part, my ex. Luckily, I didn't marry mine. Sorry about yours.
Comment 3. This seems healthy.
Comment 4. Funny as hell, but shit isn't healthy.
Comment 5. Your husband shouldn't speak to you like that. It's not normal. Comment 6. Wow, if my husband ever talked to me that way, I'd be single.
Story 3. Little brother learns.
90s memory. I got a little baby brother when I was 3, let's call him Kurt. Older brother 6, let's call him Grant. So, middle child. Only girl. I was mega small for a kid, and Kurt was the most gigantic baby that may have ever existed. I always wanted to hold him, but couldn't obviously hold him safely, and my mom would put me on the couch with pillows and stuff to support baby Kurt so it would be safe, and I loved him so much. We grew up a bit, and Grant and I would roughhouse. We super loved WWF wrestling and had a giant trampoline so we'd get a little wild. But Grant never intentionally hurt me. He'd flip me around and pick me up into the air while we were wrestling and do the moves like from the TV, pile drivers, choke slams, but I was so small and he was so big, he could just kind of do a pretend version like the wrestlers do, never actually hurt me. I'd grab his arm while he chokeslammed me and he'd have one on my back to lift me up. He'd have a hold on me from the shoulders when he pile-drived me, and I'd obviously stop before my neck snapped or anything. He'd catch me and it would be okay. I kind of went all out on Grant, but he was so much bigger than me, it never really mattered to him. I could hit him as hard as I possibly could, and it was just nothing to him. So I learned to do choke holds, and that's a whole different story. I'd always let him up when he tapped, though, like just trying to win the match. No malice, no aggression. Kurt, as he got a little older, and maybe watched me and Grant physically going at each other, I guess decided he wanted in. But he was so mean. Through his kind of baby toddler years, Kurt was real close to my size still. Me and Grant would be playing, albeit a little violently, and Kurt would come in and just start hitting. And kicking. And trying to hurt. No idea of the rules to not really inflict pain. I would get hurt and upset and run, as I'm sure we all have done as children with a generally rational mom with siblings, and be like, Mom, Kurt hit me. I'd get, oh, well, he's a baby, he doesn't know. Be nice. So many times. I'd have little bruises, but nah, Kurt's a baby, he doesn't know any better. To be fair to my mom, she did sit him down and talk to him about it and everything. So, it's not like she ignored it. When I was maybe 7, so Kurt was about 4, he did the same aggressive thing. Basically just attacked me physically, when Grant and I were having a normal rough housing session, and it hurt, and I went, probably crying, to my mom, and I finally hear the magic words. Well, he's old enough. He's gotta learn. Hit him back. I stormed my way back outside and socked him right on the arm as hard as I could. I yelled, don't hit me. I had practiced my punch so many times on Grant's beefy arm, and my itty-bitty fist of fury was nothing to him, but for Kurt, oh, he felt it. He cried and ran inside and was yelling he was going to tell Mom. I was like, yeah, go tell Mom. She's gonna tell you, you started it. And then he mostly stopped hitting us with mean-spirited intentions. Mostly. He would kinda spaz out sometimes, but it was mostly an accident if anyone actually got hurt. So that's when my little brother got included officially into the sibling WWF events on the trampoline. He did still flail and accidentally hurt us, but stopped intentionally hurting us. Because we were allowed to send it right back. Everyone's gotta learn somehow.
Comment 1. I'm glad the story had a happy ending. Comment 2. Yay for teaching him a lesson. So he doesn't grow up to become a violent bully. Comment 3. Your story brings back memories. My brother, an older cousin, M, and I were into the WWF when we were younger. Mostly those two, age would also mimic none of the moves. I was always the one getting put into choke holds and the like. Like with Grant and you, it was never done maliciously. We even grabbed the tape camcorder to record a televised wrestling match one time. We even got the sisters of my cousin to act as announcers and ref for it. LOL. Comment 4, when I, F, was 7, and my little sister was 6, she kept hitting me. My dad got tired of hearing about it, put a boxing glove on my right hand, Ban told me to put my other arm behind my back. Little sister got 2 gloves, and started pounding on me. I hit her once. She never hit me again. And I had no training, and I really don't think I hit her that hard.
Comment 5. I feel like this wasn't petty revenge. More like it was a very just revenge. I love that moment when the worm turns and justice is served. Comment 6. You can tell how old someone is by the use of the phrase WWF wrestling.